Hey, there we go. Okay, so this is what's up. Uh, this is just gonna be um, so friends that I've told about this kind of stuff know that I'm done with reps now in Legion. So basically, I'm in time wasting mode this expansion. I don't care about rating or progression. So I'm just doing a Molten Core run. When I'm actively playing WoW, I try to do this once a week, just to get it out of the way. The reset's tomorrow, so I need to do it today. I'm just trying to get sulfurous. I have back in the day when I leveled my very first alt. Uh, I made it a blacksmith just so I could make the stuff for my main to get sulfurous, and I quit playing around that point. And now that I'm back, I still want it because I literally only need the Eye of Sulfurous from uh, Ragnaros and Molten Core. That's it. I have all the ingots. I have all the other stuff you needed from Upper Blackrock Spire and Lower Blackrock Spire and all those old classic raids. And I actually got it all when you still needed groups to do it. It was still not possible to solo that stuff, but now we're gonna do it real easy. I mean, back when I was getting Hydraxian Waterlords rep, I couldn't even solo Molten Core. There were a few bosses that just because of mechanics you couldn't do. But now it's, I mean, of course, super, super trivial. So, yeah. I honestly haven't done this in a bit, so I don't even think I probably should have went to Twilight Highlands. It would have been faster. But or actually, the Dark Portal actually would have been the fastest, but I didn't even think about it. This is my favorite area of the game, though. I love Blackrock Mountain. I love all the dungeons inside of it. I love the Warcraft history that's in the area. I'm loving it. From when I started playing onward, it's always been my favorite part of the old world. And even in Cataclysm, they didn't really change the mountain itself at all. They changed Burning Steps like a very minor amount, but actually, Blackrock Mountain, they added a descent on the side, on the exterior of the mountain, but that was it. And actually, I've still never done that raid. I didn't raid in Cataclysm at all. That's kind of on my agenda to go back and do the raids from Mists of Pandaria and Cataclysm that I never did. I don't think now, probably for players who are better at WoW than me, the raids for Warlords of Draenor are possible to solo, but I'm not awesome. So also I'm a shaman, and I know anyone can do that stuff. So you're supposed to just be able to jump through this window. Did they break that? I don't want to jump in the lava. Oh, nope, there we go. There's a quest line to do that, an old classic quest line that makes you able to jump through that window to get into Molten Core rather than going all the way through. Because this is actually a raid inside of a dungeon. So in order to get straight to the raid, you actually have to go in there. Part of those long quest lines that WoW or Blizzard was trying to do back in the day. Basically classic and Burning Crusade. If you're like a newer WoW player, in order to access raids back then, and actually in Burning Crusade, Heroic Dungeons as well, you had to do quest lines that would get you what they called attunements, which are basically key quest lines that you would do in order to unlock either the hard version of 5-man dungeons or like to get into the raids. Period. They removed the necessity for keys in Wrath of the Lich King. You had a key ring and it had all your dungeon keys on it that were special. But those days are gone. Keys are done for. We're just these core hounds can still actually. I mean, back during Cataclysm, were still a problem. If you don't kill them all at the same time, they just resurrect endlessly. I honestly have no clue how people did it during Classic WoW. Just because, I mean, I didn't play during Classic WoW, but as far as some of these fights, the mechanics when I've been soloing or with small groups, it seems like this dungeon had to be extremely hard during Classic. I know they've added it to time walking now, so maybe if you want to experience it, like I said, I don't really set time. Oh, I don't schedule my playtime, so raiding is pretty much out. Especially time walking, because in my opinion, I mean, it's really only good for transmogs, and I'm just not interested in that. So if you're not familiar with Molten Core, you may be thinking, hey, why aren't you just going to the final boss and killing him, since that's all you need the item from? Well, funny story, you can't do that. You have to kill all of the major bosses in Molten Core before Major Domo will appear down here. And you need Major Domo to appear to be able to get Ragnaros to appear. So if you played during Cataclysm and you fought Ragnaros in Firelands, it's kind of like you can't go straight into the end of Firelands to fight Ragnaros. Although, here you can go where Ragnaros is, he just isn't there. He has to get summoned, so all that jazz. And actually, I forgot to eat some bear tartars. Tartare. I guess it doesn't really... I'm not going to waste one now. But, there we go. Boop. Gar. Done. I actually think I have all of the possible transmog for my shaman from here. Which, by the way, Blizzard, please make transmog account wide, not character specific, because I've gotten so much gear from Molten Core, whether it was when I was doing Hydraxian Waterlords rep back in the day, although transmog wasn't a thing then, or when I've been doing runs for Sulfurous now. I get so much gear from these old raids that is transmogs for other classes, basically plate transmogs, since this shaman can't wear plate. And I miss out on the transmog for my other characters because I'm doing it on my shaman, which is my main, and not the character that can actually wear plate. Because if you can't wear an item, it doesn't go into your transmog, even if you've acquired the item before. Because really, this is tier 1 sets in this dungeon, like Earth Fury Epaulets here. That's the tier 1 shaman from back in the day, and it looks great. And I wish that it worked differently, because I really by this point would have probably all of tier 1 for every classic class by now, if it had just let me use that for transmog purposes. Now, most of my Molten Core runs were before transmog was a thing, so at least some of those classes I'd be out of luck unless I saved the item, which I probably didn't, because the gold was necessary back then. I was grinding other reps that needed a lot of gold, like Darkmoon Faire. Before they added the daily quests in Darkmoon Faire, needed a lot of gold to get that done, to get the Darkmoon cards to turn in, to get that done. I leveled Inscription on my first alt just for that. So you're seeing a trend of J Money makes alts to allow the reputation grinding addiction on the main. Mark of Flame. Okay, well, you can see that's the third time I've gotten that pet. There's another core hound. I think I can probably sell those for at least a decent amount, though. We'll see. Pets don't go on the auction house for what they used to because pretty much all the hardcore collectors, since they added the pet battle system and the ability to have multiples of each pet, most of the hardcore collectors have already gotten what they wanted. There's always new players for sure, but those players may not catch the collecting bug, and if they do, they may not be aware of, because none of these pets in Molten Core are actually rare per se. It's just that they're not hard to get. You can go farm it yourself, so why would you pay an exorbitant amount on the auction house for it? Unless people just don't care. I mean, sometimes you just want to get the pet and not spend the time. A lot of times if you got the gold, it's worth it to not spend your time on it. So now that's it. We killed Major Domo. He's going to go over and wake up Ragnaros. And that'll be, wow, Molten Core done. Boom. Finished. Finito. It is much faster than when I used to do it. Back when I was doing runs of this committedly every week, you would still have to kill this trash. You couldn't just leave it. It would aggro you still. Especially the core hounds would aggro you. Yes, I just clicked my sprint. I told you I'm not good at this game. I've been playing it a long time. That doesn't mean I'm good. I really never made an effort to be good. Basically, as good as I got was healing low mythics. And back during Wrath, I was a pickup healer for Ice Crown Citadel a lot because I needed that rep. So I got good at those fights, but that's thanks to Healbot here, not because I'm actually good at the game. It just sets it up, makes it very easy, you know. When it gets right down to it, healing is pretty simple in this game, in my opinion. Versus a game, older MMOs where it was a resource battle, you know, in EverQuest. You could complete heal all day, but you'd run out of mana way before the fight was done, and then everybody dies. Whereas in WoW, honestly, except for in Cataclysm, I never really felt like mana was the deciding factor at all. It was always cast speed and just, you know, reacting correctly, you know, healing the correct person, putting shields on the correct person, putting hots on the right person. Whereas in older MMOs, you had to do all that, plus realize that if you didn't use your spells strategically, or actually like stop casting for periods of time, like low damage periods of the fight, you would just run out of mana straight up. No way around it. The one quest in my quest log is a legendary quest for Terragos's Rest from Firelands, actually. The other place where you fight Ragnaros. But unfortunately, that's not soloable, and I just have been too lazy to grab somebody to do the parts of it that I need. There's Shadox, I think is the name. The boss that looks like this guy who is pathing around Firelands. You need him to set traps, which he doesn't do if you're the only target. So, and you need his pets to do certain actions, but if you leave one of his pets alive, even now, you'll still die. You'll get stun locked. It puts like a 200-second stun on you or something, and you just get pinpricked to death over the course of way too long. I'm sure you could actually kind of... There's a WoW softlock for you if your stats were good enough. You could just get stun locked forever by his pet and then not it would be unable to kill you because of your armor and your health regen, and you would just be stuck there. You'd have to like force a log out, which would let him despawn and do that. I guess there's no way. I guess when you get right down to it, there's no way to soft lock World of Warcraft because you can always force a log out. Oh, there goes. One shot him. Nope. I already have the Flame Tongue Illusion. Nope, that's it. No dice today. Wow. Well, I guess that's it. Shoot me an email, I guess. I don't know. Does Twitch let you do that? Does Twitch let you email someone offline when they're not streaming? Oh well. If you want me to see me do something special in WoW, let me know. I'll try it. Keep in mind, I have tank classes on alts, but they're not super geared. I mean, they're Legion geared, but not for anything special. So, anyways, that's it. Thanks. Bye.